Still 40 seconds left. Storm's got to get... He's a little close. 200 gold to go. He's getting as much gold as he can from the Philosopher's Stone, but he's going to be up before then.
GPK, it's hunting season. Wanted Saberlight not to be able to quite grab him, though, as the fish is just a bit off the mark. Safe has just been this little battery this entire time, just healing up everyone on his team, sitting very, very low himself. Does have to be a bit careful here. Mato, though, getting a couple of these bites off over onto Nightfall. Trying to find this opening again. That sheep stick coming out. The Echo Slam, the egg, everything. It's enough to take out Tomato. He has no buyback. And the Storm not going to be up for another 8 seconds. Egg goes off. They clean up on Moon Meander. Moon Meander has no buyback. And they're just going to rip through these buildings, and it's looking like they're going to go for a finish if they can. Nightfall, though, held into place. Jump onto the back lines, though, here over onto Dubu. The grab forward, though, from Bryle. He's trying everything he can. They don't want to give this up just yet, but he just has no solution right now. And this is looking like the end here. Purger just climbing after Dubu. He can't even get back into his fountain. Buyback comes out, though. They don't want to go down without a fight, but it's too late. The GG gets called. VP gonna take this 2-game series. Very
well deserved. I think Undyne had a great chance to win this game. They won that like top fight. They were pressuring the tower, but all of a sudden the coordination of VP really paid off. They would start jumping in and killing Tomato really quick, and they didn't quite have the way to save him, unfortunately. So really well played by VP.
Guaranteed 5th through 6th almost is what it feels like.
Yeah, it's definitely for my money anyway. I feel like this team is entirely based around old 11. Maybe not playing around Old 11, but I feel like their success or failure is very dependent on their offlaner. Because Old 11 has just been this way for like years now, where he can excel at the highest level, but at the same time, he can kind of feed a bit. He used to be one of my favorite offlaners coming out of China. In fact, it was my favorite offlaner until about 2-3 years ago, when I kind of made the decision that I was just like, okay, I can't have you, if you're going to be a top 3 team in the world, I can't have this inconsistency in performance that he has, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a really good point. Offlane traditionally has been the role that allowed for the most volatility.
Yep.
But I think things have changed a bit, especially because the diversity of the hero pool has opened up so much. So you just really have to be more consistent. I feel like if there's any role that is allowed to like take more risks nowadays, it's
Hi everybody, Sunspan here with Cinderin.
Hello.
We have Quincy Crew versus the LGD PSG. Right. So pretty hype matchup. Draft has already started, so let the battlefield. That is defense of the battlefield. That is defense of the ancients. So to my knowledge, based on Liquipedia, because obviously we're casting and we can't check everything, these two teams have not played yet.
Yep.
So both 0 and 0.
Mm-hmm.
And we already have 4 heroes picked.
5 seconds
Cinderin,
remaining.
talk to me.
Yeah, first of all, before we do that, should mention PSG LGD by the majority of people considered most people consider these the favorites to win the whole tournament. They have the most votes by fans, and I think among talent as well, we consider them the favorites from what I gathered. Have been looking incredible all year, especially in it just seems like the sky's the limit for these guys. So we'll see if they can do it at TI this year finally. For China, the last Aegis was in 2016, which was Wings.
Yep.
Since then, it has been 3 European wins back-to-back. To-back, yes. So LGD, really trying to get the Aegis back home to China.
All
here,
the hopes of China are on their shoulders, and the
Not
other 4
true.
Chinese teams.
Yeah, right. But yeah, LGD by just absolute juggernauts this year. Against them, Quincy Crew, top scorer in the NADPC. They went 7-0, I believe, in their last round of the DPC there. On the international stage, I believe they got a top 6 at the last major, which was their best result for the year. Definitely a team that a lot of people feel like have the potential to go really deep. But also sometimes just have lackluster showings in individual games or in series as a whole where things just don't
so
click.
the first, I'm going off of memory here, but the first major they qualified for after defeating everybody in the group stage, and then, or not the group stage, but the DPC season. Until the last game, they lost to Undying. So they beat EG and then lost to Undying. There was a 3-way tie. Had to replay them again. Ended up getting second place instead of first. They got lower bracket status there. And then MSS couldn't go to the major, so didn't do amazingly at that one. And then the second major, like you said, top 6 finish.
Yep.
But yeah, they're kind of hit or miss. I agree. I've been expecting a little bit more out of them. So I told them just to not jinx their performance. I'm going to say that they're not going to win any games. And see how that works.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about these the other day. How, like, my prediction for this team in the groups is that either they get top 4 or bottom 2. That's where I have them. I don't have them in the middle of the pack.
That's a bit extreme.
And it's just a hunch. Like, I hope for them. It's top 4 in the group. Like a lot of their players, especially their coach currently, Kezu, is coaching Quincy Crew, a good friend of mine. So would obviously be great to see them doing well. But they start out with arguably the hardest challenge in the entire group. So
For sure.
hopefully, regardless of how this goes for both teams, they get off to a good start, whether it's learning or winning or both.
Oh my.
A lot of drafting to catch up on now, though. LGD with the first pick, IO, seems to be rated really high. Has the overgrowth against Lycan's army, keeping him in place once again. Very nice. Quincy's lineup has a lot of magic damage and no physical component whatsoever right now. So that is something that their follow-up 2 picks probably have to solve. As far as LGD go, I wonder what they're thinking here. I think Batrider looks like a potential next pick, but they do have 3-4, right? So they would need to grab it now if they wanted it.
Yeah, but this is going to be, not to change the subject temporarily, Cinderella, although that is my style. In terms of the matchup between the teams, it's going to be fun to watch LGD actually playing with their full lineup. Like, all the games we've cast basically in the last couple months have been Zhao 8 mid, picking Spirit Breaker. I'm going to miss that. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to miss the Spirit Breaker mid, but we get to see them in actual full strength, and many people like
Quincy's
yourself are
lineup
not
has a lot of
expecting
magic
them to
damage
miss any
and
beats
no
as a
physical
result of
component
having to play with somebody else
whatsoever.
for so long.
Follow-up
Obviously,
2
he was the
picks
coach,
probably
but
have to
I
solve.
think Quincy Crew side,
As far as
I just want to
LGD
mention one
go,
thing because I feel like
wonder
it's
what they're
under the radar.
thinking here.
LOA, also known as
Batrider looks like a
SVG.
potential next pick, but they do have 3-4, right? So they would need to grab it now if they wanted it.
Yeah, but this is going to be, not to change the subject temporarily, Cinderella, although that is my style. in terms of the matchup between the teams, it's going to be fun to watch LGD actually playing with their full lineup. Like all the games we've cast basically in the last couple months have been Zhao 8 mid, picking
Right.
Spirit Breaker. I'm going to miss that. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to miss the Spirit Breaker mid, but we get to see them in actual full strength, and many people like yourself are not expecting them to miss any beat as a result of
Right.
having to play with somebody else for so long. Obviously, it was the coach, and then Quincy Crew side, I just want to mention one thing because I feel like it's under the radar. LOA, also known as SVG, I genuinely think is one of the smartest people in the entire scene. And they've had so much time to prepare for this, so expecting good things out of them overall. But like I said, they're going to lose because I said that I would say that publicly.
All right. Disruptor grabbed here from LGD.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it works pretty well with Wisp. If you see any sort of glimpse, you can relocate on that. You also have Ember to set up relocates now. LGD, I feel like they had one really standout game that impressed me so much. I think you know which game I'm talking about, where they had to split push a lot with an anti-mage.
Yep.
Do you remember that game? I'm getting like vibes of that here just because their lineup's team fight is pretty lackluster, but they have like this very strong ability to push out waves with Lycan, with Ember Spirit, and then if they force rotations, that's where their supports really shine, is when it's not 5v5 scale fights, but like more skirmishy, more scrappy kind of play. And don't get me wrong, if LGD set it up, it's probably not out of a scrappy nature. It's not going to be by chance that they randomly find skirmishes here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very deliberate way of trying to navigate the map with these picks. Terrorblade. Okay.
Oh, all right. More Terrorblade action. Great to see. I mean, from LGD's side, they have a ton of mobility, right? You kind of touched on it a bit, but
Yeah. They want to brute force them down here.
it kind of doesn't even matter what they pick here as their last pick in terms of the mobility aspect because it'll be made up for with IO
Yeah.
and everybody else.
Seems like Quincy's mentality here is, okay, we recognize what the strength of your lineup is. We are going to pick a carry that gets some farm, and then we just go and force you to fight us at towers. Terrorblade is one of the few carries that can kind of match Lycan in pushing speed. If both heroes are just hitting towers, Terrorblade pushes very quickly.
You know, what happened to Spectre? I was expecting a lot of teams to be picking Spectre. I mean, small sample size
Yeah,
so far,
small
but
sample. Don't worry, it's going to be there.
oh, I'm not worried.
It will be there.
I'm concerned, but not worried.
They could have picked Spectre too for Quincy. There's actually multiple heroes here that could have been good, right? You could also see Phantom Lancer as a pick in this game. Phantom Rush against IO against Lycan. Decent hero against Ember Spirit. It's like it goes both ways, that matchup for me, because Ember traditionally can do well against the PL with all of his AoE damage, but at the same time, when PL has enough items, it feels like Ember can't really keep up if he's the only one.
Yeah.
And PL flat out just destroys Disruptor. That matchup is so terrible. You have a Static Storm, that's it. If you don't land that, you're just dead. So. There's a Spectre ban, though.
Okay.
So they are respecting that out of Ame here, Quincy Crew. Would imagine the second ban is maybe some more common pairing with IO. Chaos Knight is not that good. Sven is banned. Gyro is banned.
Yep.
What are we even looking at? Storm ban here.
Yeah, that is a lot. Is
Monkey King is
you know that's the
banned.
camera for the thing. You know, everybody's looking at you. Go into the menu, Cinderin.
That's
Yep,
true.
There you go. Well done.
There you go.
Very perfect. This is a TI-10 broadcast, by the way.
My bad. I
Brought
used
to
the
you by Cinderin.
wrong monitor.
Has lapses in judgment all the time.
Our observer, JJ, unfortunately went into the menu there a little bit. Sorry about that.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, so
you want to check his win rate with Spectre?
no, I was gonna get inspiration for carry heroes. Sometimes just looking at all of the hero overview can be pretty helpful. But now we do have. Now I am going to look at it correctly, Shannon. Thank you for pointing out that I was making a mistake there. Luna is in.
Okay.
Not good against Terrorblade. Do they actually do the anti-mage thing? I don't know if they can pull that off in this game. That's a little bit crazy.
I mean, with IO, it
Medusa
obviously
ban.
reduces the amount of heroes that we're talking about because, like, okay. I mean, that's not the traditional setup
No,
for sure. But
definitely not.
I mean,
yeah.
how is their setup in general for Chrono? It's a bit
not
lackluster. Here.
right. It's not the best synergy with Lycan either. But I guess you're just looking at, okay, what's left, right? Like, so many
seconds
carries are
remaining.
banned. The ones that are in are not very good against Terrorblade for the most part.
5 seconds
So
remaining.
they're going to go for the Void. They have a bit of synergy with Chrono into Static Storm, of course. And Ember can deal decent damage from outside Chrono, even though he's a melee hero. But Lycan is not
Choose
too
your
hot.
hero.
Quinn Leshrac as the last pick. Very high pressure lineup from Quincy here. You've got the Leshrac to take towers together with Terrorblade. You have insane mid-game teamfight with Sand King, Treant, and AA. On the side of LGD, it's more like we talked about, more skirmishy in nature, more splitting the map style. Very curious to see this play out. These two strategies are completely different. They're basically almost polar opposites in what they do, with the exception of Chrono helping out a little bit in the teamfight department for LGD. I like Quincy's draft, though. I think it's very good in this game against what LGD have to offer. So, for your sake, we're going to call it a loss for Quincy, because you weren't
10
trying to
seconds
jinx.
remaining.
Yeah.
But either way, I think this is going to be a really, really interesting game
5 seconds remaining.
on a strategic level. I love drafts like this where the two teams have totally different strategies, because it makes it so much more interesting to watch, because they have to think about the game totally differently.
Is there, I know it's different strategies, but is there a time of the game that each respective team is looking forward to for their power spikes, so to speak?
I think it's hard to just identify like a time for me here, because like for Quincy, their lineup is online relatively early. Leshrac gets some levels, Terrorblade gets one item, then you can push and fight, and it feels like LGD can't. So it's not really about the time as much as it's about the timing in the game, where, okay, do we force the right hero rotation? It's about finding holes in the plot, basically, from Quincy, right? Like, there's very clear, all right, we're going to go, we're grouping up, we're taking this and this. If we manage to pull back Leshrac or Terrorblade or even Sand King, pull them back to defend a tower, that's when we can make a smoke move, we can just relocate, we can just like an ulti, and make a lot of things happen. So it's a lot about like high skill map dynamics, basically, of pushing waves correctly without getting caught, and reading moves.
Right.
Those kind of strategies I would not advise for like tier. I think, for example, the lineup that LGD is playing right now is really difficult to execute for a tier 2 team or tier 3 team, right? But at the absolute highest of levels, these kind of strategies can be executed. But it's
Prepare
hard.
for battle.
It's hard to play like this, in my opinion.
Oh my god. They spelled my name wrong.
Did they capitalize it incorrectly?
They capitalized the F incorrect.
Oh, no.
I actually haven't tried it in game, so wow.
Oh no.
Thank you, LOA, for bringing that to my attention. I will definitely bug report this to Valve themselves after this game.
They used your voice line, though. That's great.
Yeah, that's one person.
That's free advertisement right there. That's good. Guys, make sure you get Sunsfan's autograph.
Yeah. Cinderen's as well. It's not as good.
Oh, nice.
But,
You said I thought you weren't going to say
and I guess Pimp.
You-
Pimp's a pretty good observer. He's okay.
Get JJ's as
He's
well.
one of the 3 best. Right?
Get JJ's while you're
out of 3. But he plays a lot of Dota, as we
Yeah.
went over already. So
Yeah.
okay, so LGD versus
30
Quincy Crew.
seconds to battle.
These teams have actually played twice, only 2 games, I should say. LGD 2-0'd them, and I believe, wasn't that the Animajor? I'm trying to remember exactly. I don't think they met up at another tournament past that, but if I remember correctly, it was relatively close games.
Was it? You're saying it was at the Animajor they met?
I think so.
That was LGD's standout dominance tournament, right?
Yeah.
They were so good in that one.
I'm
So-
pretty sure. So either way, but yeah, Quincy Crew has something to prove for sure, and like you said, this is their
The battle
first respective
begins.
matches from each respective team. So definitely want to get off to good starts. As the
3 runes
wow,
for LGD.
PSG LGD with 3 runes, indeed.
Let's look at lane matchups. Leshrac versus Ember, I think, is slightly Leshrac favored, but not by a lot. A lot of it comes down to Ember's usage of Flame Guard to handle the incoming magic damage harassment from Leshrac, and obviously if you're clutch with Sleight of Fist dodges onto Split Earth. So I think both heroes should be doing pretty well here.
By the way, Ame very late and is transitioning to top lane right
Yep,
now.
they're going to do a tri-lane top and play Lycan solo bottom.
Wow.
Tri
Tri-lane
versus
with Void.
both teams tri-laning here.
Yeah.
Very, very unusual and interesting.
Is this
That sounded so sarcastic, but it wasn't.
very interesting gameplay? That would have been a good voice line. You should have done. You should have done your robot voice line. So sorry, you were saying who wins this matchup typically? The Lesh versus Ember?
I think slightly Lesh favor.
Relatively good,
It's
but
pretty legit
then you're playing
sometimes.
support as Void, which can be a hit or a miss, I guess.
Yeah. Honkeys.
Very
And
good.
now this top tri
So you
lane
have
for
the
me is
right
going to be
neutral
very
item
interesting to
equipped.
watch, just because
The hotkey ready for whatever
it's
drops.
so uncharacteristic. Like,
Instant
away.
D ward too.
what kind of a tri lane
Or a
is this?
little
Disruptor
90%
IO
velocity.
Void.
So
It's very different.
well, we
What's
talked
your
about how
reasoning
Void,
for Quincy
you know,
Crew
used to be
being
one of the
top
worst laners in
4
the
or
entire game.
bottom
He's
2?
decent
That's-
now. You're talking about in just group or TI?
In groups. In the group.
Oh.
No, oh, you thought it meant TI in general?
Yeah, I thought you
No.
meant TI.
It was
Okay.
for the group, which, I mean, how bold of a prediction is that really? That just means they don't get 5th, 6th, 7th,
Yeah.
right?
That's not that big.
It's not like that bold. They don't strike me as a team that's going to finish middle of the pack because of what we talked about earlier. They can have very polarizing performances. They can have really, really well executed strategies and planning. I think especially SVG is very good at laying out a game plan before the game even begins, like the draft even begins.
Yeah.
A great standout example for me was their series against Vici Gaming at the Animajor, where in game number 1 they absolutely stomped them with a Venomancer strategy that no one was playing. They just had this read that Vici Gaming plays slow, they play this kind of style, this is how we're going to attack it, and it's going to work. And it did. I think they lost the series the next 2 games, though. But that one game was very well prepped. And in group stages, that matters a lot. If you come in with a well-prepped game and you win the first game, that's already awesome, right? Like, then the worst possible outcome is a draw at that point.
Right, especially when you're going up against a team that many are picking to win TI entirely,
Right.
in LGD.
So with that in mind, I feel like that when the prep is right and when the plays click, Quincy can look amazing. But then they also have these drop the ball games and moments. That also happened at the Animajor. They had, I think it was a game against, I want to say it was either SG or I think it was No Ping.
No Ping, yeah.
Which was so scrappy, and they were not happy.
That
I
was
think they won the
that was
series
the
2-1.
Shard game, the infamous Shard game, where they left it in the pit.
They won the series 2-1, but looked very unimpressive while
Yeah.
doing that. And then the next day, they just crushed Vici game 1.
And
right?
I believe
So,
that was the series where the meme of Quinn was taken, right? The picture of his face, I believe. Maybe,
Oh.
maybe that was the next series. At the Animajor, regardless. You're going to see Kinetic Feel into MSS right now. Ame. Trying to apply some pressure here with the Thunder Strike from Innocence, a.k.a. Y as well. And Ame is going to the other side with the Time Walk, apparently. Will be using the taunt around the rock. Very important to show that you did not make a mistake there. As more hotkeys, apparently.
maybe you could set up your hotkeys before the game starts.
Yeah, that's a thought.
All right, I'm ready for the third guy.
These are micro pauses, Syndrin.
That's true. At least they're very quick at fixing it, so that's good.
So Faith Beyond, after getting that entire wave like you talked about, has dropped off a bit compared to everybody else, but that's to be expected because, right, like in lane these days with the Wolves, what is the difference between, this is going to sound weird, like between Lone Druid, like the Wolves are much more susceptible to damage,
Yeah.
but are you getting as many last hits as a Lone Druid would, in theory?
Well, one of the differences is that Lone Druid has a bear.
Yeah,
and
the
these
bear
are
is stronger
wolves.
generally. Yeah.
That's probably the biggest difference, honestly. So there's different animals.
What if you could equip items on the Wolves?
So they look like bears.
No, like, got it.
Oh, you didn't mean cosmetics.
Yeah,
Meant in
actual
general.
items, yes. Courier's going to be taken out by LOA.
Well, the main difference is, so these have a lot of magic resist, but they have very low health. So in terms of physical right clicks, you kill them very easily.
Yeah.
The Lone Druid Bear has a lot more health, but also gives a way bigger bounty. So killing the bear compared to killing 2 wolves is a lot more value, but also a lot harder. So like the
Especially
payoff-
because wolves are in packs, and bears don't work together.
Yeah.
Unless they're related. Not sure where I was going with that one. LOA is going to get
don't know
pressured now, right? With Shin Q attached to a wolf, so he's part of the pack right now. Man, LOA takes so much damage from those. And Yawar, you can see on the Terrorblade for now. In terms of CS, doing quite well for himself. As Y is going to get caught out. The grasp is there from MSS. Quinn with the splitter, not quite in range. So as a result, Y will live. But mid lane, Quinn 30-8. Nothing to say. Basically the same.
Now both
So
heroes
wash.
finding a, Quinn is out of mana.
Yeah,
He is
but
dead.
LOA is here to try to save the day. Gets the cold feet off, nothing to say, trying to get the last. Can he get, oh, just out of range, and the first blood goes to LOA. Oh my goodness, all planned by Quinn, I'm sure.
Oh, he thought Quinn juked off to the right in the trees and went for it.
It's actually a fitting line for that. It's actually so fitting. So let's see, when does he come out of Fog of War here? So, ooh, yeah, okay.
Well, he couldn't have thought he juked there. He saw him.
I think he just missed.
Not very good targeting, I guess. But
Radiant's top tower.
But he knew he was dead either way, so just trying to get that first blood before he goes down.
I think it's completely fine to go for it at that point, but a little bit of a misstep, I think, earlier got him out of range. After he threw the 3 remnants, he could have probably stayed on top of the Leshrac a little bit better. But nice response as well from SVG to come in there, or sorry, LOA as he's called now, to grab that kill as well. Top lane.
Yeah, a lot of name change. Leslau was Lelis, so if you hear that, that's the reasoning. See the bash come online for Ame, and he's going for Mask of Madness. I mean, are you expecting anything crazy out of the build here? We see a lot of Maelstrom. I don't know if you go Maelstrom and Mask of Madness.
I think you do.
And then you take apart Mask of Madness later for Satanic.
Yeah,
and
Void needs a
Butterfly.
farming item, and Mask of Madness isn't enough. I think you have, and Maelstrom's also a really good item against Terrorblade, right?
Yeah.
You want that magic damage component if possible against him.
Oh, Quinn might get caught out. Nope. Just on the right side of the kinetic field. And Shin Q in the vicinity with those Spirit Balls. Trying to keep this siege alive just for a couple more right clicks. That looks like it's going to fall here. A lot of damage done to the tower, though. Half HP at 7 minutes.
Unexpected that the Leshrac tower is half HP and the Ember tower is full. Usually Leshrac is going to be pushing and dominating the lane as much as possible, get any power rune, and then look to damage the tower.
Oh, TP coming in. It's going to be Ame. He is level 6, gets the Chronosphere off. Faith Beyond is in wolf form, so he's going to get a couple, literally one right click off with that Chronosphere. LOA takes a tumble. Jin Q on the other side now, attached to a Centaur right now. Yuar's going to get hoof stomped. Ame in vicinity as well. Faith Beyond. Looks like they're going to get this kill until Yuar does not have Sunder yet. He is only level 5. MSS will TP out to safety. So nice rotations here from LGD.
Really cool synergy between Io and Lycan, right?
Yeah.
You remember how core Ios used to go Helm of the Dominator so that they could just dominate a creep and then fly around the map?
Yeah, like a wolf.
What if you're, like flying wolves? What if you just have a friend that buys it instead? So he plays with Lycan's Dom creep, and when Lycan uses ulti, Io is also hasted.
They obviously share control, right?
Yeah, probably, right? You would imagine that they just share control and Jinky is just playing the Dom creep.
Yeah.
But this is a really cool synergy just because this was nerfed a lot where the Dom with Io used to be super fast and then it got nerfed.
It's quite a bit slower.
But now when you use Lycan ult, it's like the old Io.
That's true.
You just have that creep be hasted, so...
That's a good point. Well, the hoof stomp's going to connect onto LOA, but nothing to really follow it up with, at least not yet.
A lot of damage, though. From
Indeed.
nothing
Quinn,
to say. Double damage rune.
Quincy feels like they want to fight, but maybe a little bit hesitant right now.
Nice job from them getting the top tier 1 tower, though. This is a very early offlane tower. 8 minutes 30. They take.
That's true. We see so
tower.
many games where they get 2 racks and that tier 1 is still top, right?
So look at Ame here, by the way. It's like you can't decide. I'm
Just
hitting this
right
guy.
on the edge too.
Whatever.
So the fact that that Chrono caught Yawar is why he ends up dying here.
Yeah.
He definitely would have gotten out.
Look at that central creep, super fast.
Yep, that's good stuff. Good synergy for sure.
And now they're pushing mid, and well, it looks like MSS wants to defend, but he gets caught.
All right, Burrow Strike from Leslau. Looks like Y is going to take the brunt of the damage here and will fall as a result. MSS, Thunder Strike might tick him out. He's going to be next to the trees here as Jin Q. Looks like he's going to get brought down by Quinn instead, so MSS somehow lives through that, but 2 support kills in favor of Quincy Crew.
Great defense.
And now you can heal up the tower.
You have Treant. It's really important that the towers don't fall. He's going to be investing all of his living armor cooldowns into this mid tower, probably.
Yep.
Leslau's going to get
Talk to me about Sand King as a hero right now, because it kind of dropped off the map the last few, I want to say last few years, and then this last year it's kind of been brought back as an offlaner in a lot more games.
He received a couple of buffs and other offlaners got nerfed, and what Sand King always has going for him is he has this great ability to defend towers with Sandstorm, and something that will always be good in Dota is having quick stuns, right? Something that sets up a fight when you see weakness, when you find a moment of opportunity, Sand King is one of those offlaners that just capitalizes immediately. And then on top of it, he also has a teamfight ability in the epicenter, of course. So,
And the fact
I
that
think
you
conceptually the hero has always been good. It's just about the tweaking of the numbers,
see,
right?
how big of a deal is the fact that you don't channel it anymore? It's just a cast time.
It helps. That's nice. It's a feel-good thing where you can pump fake it to make a reaction come out, and if you change your mind, you don't have to commit it. Mid tower again.
Yeah.
LGD just really want this tower.
Yeah, Quincy Crew might have to give it up. The siege is in the vicinity. We'll continue to pound upon it, and yeah, they're not in position now, but there's a fort just to delay it a little bit longer, and you get the refresh, of course, once it gets killed. And finally, a tower goes the way of PSG LGD.
Claimed here by Jinhyu. Closing in on Holy Locket with this.
Okay.
Will be. I wonder who he's primarily going to be healing. Like right now, it's the Centaur creep that he's tethered to. But later on in the game, I suppose he will just flat out play with the Void and try to keep him safe. Ame is, by the way, going for the Maelstrom as expected. So,
Yep.
no big surprise there.
Oh, and he got the great neutral item choice as well. Again, I say choice. You just have to pray correctly.
It's a lot worse than it used to be, right? Now that it's the flat lifesteal instead of
Well,
percentage.
you don't keep it past tier 1,
Right.
but it's still good.
It's good.
during
It's
this time.
It's 7 agi. It's nice.
Faith Beyond into the enemy jungle he goes. He's going to pop that ult just to try to get away. You can see the Static Storm applied only to 1 right now in the kinetic field. LOA's ult is coming out. Basically just clips Y, but
Quinn
ends
with
up
the
getting
haste
cleaned up
rune,
as a
getting
result.
juked, though.
Ooh, Faith Beyond will
Nice
get out.
juke.
But it's a 1-for-1. Looks like MSS gets brought down by Faith Beyond himself. Looks like probably a wolf just killed him, huh?
So,
My goodness. It was a centaur creep that killed him. Oh, okay.
it was a bear.
That's close enough.
We've talked about this Lycan cosmetic, by the way. We both love it. The wolf form.
Yep.
When he uses ulti, very, very cool.
Very cool indeed. Thank you for bringing it up during a TI-10. This was a TI-10
I thought you were going to love this.
non-sponsored cosmetic talk.
You love talking about cosmetics.
I do. They're fun.
Yeah.
So almost done with his Vlads into the helm of the Overlord. Has the tomato creep right now. I think one change they need to make with the tomato creep is when he dies, he needs to, like, ketchup needs to spill everywhere. What do you think?
Yeah. And then we could have like sponsored ketchup brands come out of it.
That's the next
Very
level
good.
cosmetic
Yeah.
stuff.
Smart. Very smart. Bottom tower under siege, but they're a little bit hesitant here.
Yeah.
Having the conjured images attack a little bit, but they're not using edict, which is what makes this fast. And maybe for good reason, because PSG LGD are heading over.
Yeah, meta is popped by Yawar, and he's
Yawar's no
basically
mana.
out of mana right now.
Yeah.
Searing Chains onto Quinn, who has to pop his Diabolic Edict, and with that, I think they just back.
They just defended. And Amis is farming in the meantime. So nice hold here. Sending the right amount of resources, I would say, down here, PSG LGD.
Looking for a glimpse. Oh, he's in the fog. Okay. Scared me there. Y with the Tumbler toy. Level 6, of course. And this might be a concession of the Tier 1 tower, now that you've TP'd out. So this likely will be a second tower in PSG LGD's way. So, with the Treant, like, what makes it a successful Treant game? Obviously, what warrants the pick? That's a better way to ask that. Like,
So what did you pick it
delaying
into?
the towers, or
Yeah, you picked it into Lycan specifically, right? So delaying the towers for sure, and then finding 1 or 2 good overgrowths in a team fight is probably what you're hoping for with this pick. So far, it's only really been the tower delays, and it hasn't been that great. Like 14 minutes in, you've still lost 2 towers, and the one you have left is the easiest one to take.
oh, we're going to see the burrow into the AA ult. Quinn can't even get off the Split Earth, really. It was the Pulse Nova that got that kill. Has the Arcane Rune already activated, so an easy peasy kill for Quincy Crew. But Ame, he finds Yawar inside the Chronosphere with the Thunder Strike to help as well. MSS gets off the Overgrowth, just needs a little bit of time to get the Sunder off, but no, gets glimpsed back into the arms of the rest of LGD. A huge kill for them.
Really cool as well to see Ame sidestepping there between every single attack to try to dodge overgrowth from outside the chrono. Not even really a damage loss, right? As long as you weave in and out between each individual attack, you're just making MSS's life that much harder, and he does end up overgrowthing, and still, with that Static Storm, they do find the kill. That's a big one with Yawar out. They do also commit 2 ultis to it, so maybe a moment of opportunity here for Quincy Crew to look at this mid tower. with some Edict plus meta in 25 seconds. So that does indeed seem to be the play here. It's going to TP mid on Terrorblade. Maybe it's just playing triangle for a bit, but I think it's a mistake if you don't take advantage right now of this chrono being on cooldown. Like, you really want to get something out of it. Might not need to be a full tower, but at the very least, a decent chunk here. So you're going to see here, notice how Ame starts weaving from side to side here. Okay, actually only did it once.
It was just enough, Cinderin.
Well, did in the end get caught by the overgrowth anyway, but didn't matter. Why was there getting
He's
the
going
job
for
done.
BKB next, it looks like. And Manta was picked up by Yawar. And I want to mention Lelis has, I believe, almost finished his Crimson Guard, which is obviously a great item against Lycan.
Yeah.
Not an item we see that often, regardless, though.
I think it's... I don't know if it's better or worse than it used to be against Lycan back when he went Necro Book, right? Because, yeah, then
Oh, Yawar is all alone again inside the Static Storm Kinetic Field combo. And that is while the Tier 1 tower is going down, so at the very least they get something out of it, but...
These deaths are
2
big.
kills.
They might lose Quinn too like this. He has Invis Rune. There is a sentry.
Yeah, he's literally on top of it. The Wolves catch him out. To be a bit careful. There's the time dilation, and he has to pop the Pulse Nova. But he's completely surrounded now. They're just kiting him as much as possible. There's the Overgrowth to try to stem the bleeding. Looks like Quinn might live as a result, so the sacrifice from MSS is certainly worth it. Although nothing to say is continue with the pressure here. See the Burrow Strike finishes off Y in the meantime, so if you want to count the Yawar kill, it's a 2 for 1, but now Lelis gets caught out. Double kill for Faith Beyond. Quincy Crew making some crucial mistakes here.
Yeah, they're just... they didn't even get the top. Okay, it's 12 health. They should probably deny this.
Oh, I
tower
thought
at
they
this
got
point.
that. My goodness.
I was going to say about the Crimson Guard on Sand King here now that this fight is over. So the old Lycan build when Necronomicon was a thing was Crimson Guard was better and worse against it because it had a Dispel, right? So you can Dispel one guy that Crimson was on, but it would protect a lot of the rest. Now, there's no Dispel anymore, but Lycans don't have all those summons. They have one really big guy that hits way harder than the Crimson Guard blocks. So I actually don't know. Like, I think he wouldn't buy it unless there was also Sleight of Fist, right? It's because he has added value of also having this Ember do spread damage. But in my personal experience... Oh, hang on.
Oh, Burrow into Sandstorm. Quinn.
Chrono.
He's going to get chronoed by Ame, who's just going to solo him down. Doesn't have that much damage, though, so maybe Quinn can live a little bit longer, but not to be this time around. Leslau now stuck inside the trees with that Sandstorm. See MSS on the other side of the tree line as well, but he's going to get dusted and likely brought down here. I believe Quincy Crew just need to back. Ame able to time walk out, and that's going to be a freebie for LGD again. Too big. I mean, that's 2 core kills. At least you are live, though, this time, on the other side of the map.
Yeah. Really finding the silver linings here. Well, at least we didn't all die. Can always point to one hero that survived that wasn't involved.
That's right.
But yeah, it's LGD are really ramping it up here. Really good read from Ame that he could kill there. I don't think that was obvious that that chrono was a kill on the Lash. But having the Mask Madness and Maelstrom was just enough. I think maybe Living Armor had already been used. If that was that, maybe it was even on the Lash. Did he kill him through Living Armor too?
I'm not sure. Oh, we have some TPs from Quincy Crew. Quinn. They don't have quite vision of Y right now, but the Static Storm is placed right on top of Quinn. He's going to do some damage here once he's out, thanks to that Pulse Nova. Shinkyu trying to save Y's life, and looks like he's going to be successful at it. They're just going to turn this around on the Quinn, but there's the Overgrowth A Blast coming as well. Faith Beyond's going to get hit with the Burrow Strike in addition to the AA ult, and down he goes. Finally, something for Quincy Crew. Nothing to say with very little mana to speak of, but it doesn't look like Quincy Crew have any more catch.
With how that was looking for Quinn, that's a good outcome for them to get the Lycan there and get out with no casualties. Huge amount of damage is being shown here by our lovely observer.
Lovely observer.
JJ, get his autograph now. I don't know why that was the accent, but
that's not an accent that exists other than in the robot.
I made up a country. All right, so we're seeing the replay here. Static Storm onto Lesh, and at this point, when Disruptor gets saved, this looks scary for Quinn.
Yeah.
And this Overgrowth saves everything right there. Both of them, they set up the Ice Blast very nicely, follow up Burrow Strike very nicely. from Quincy. And obviously with that, if Lesh dies there, maybe they even lose the top tier 2 tower. But they hold it on without taking basically any damage on it. And Jawar's making good progress here as well. He's closing in on Scotty on the Terrorblade. Void's BKB, however, also completed, so looking very, very good for him as well.
Is this a game where you would prioritize at some point, if it goes into the later stages, obviously, the Ags on Disruptor, Chrono into Static Storm on TB, and you just can't live.
And you're playing it against a lineup that has 0 saves, so it is really good here.
Drums are popped, and LOA will be the sacrifice this time. Gets off the Ice Blast, but not to much avail.
Is this going to be a Roche opener?
It looks like that's what they want to do. I mean, the Ice Blast they know is not going to be up even if they were to take 20 seconds to kill this, which it won't take that long.
Or if he bought back, especially.
Or bought back, yeah. So, first Roche goes to LGD. Lycan going for the shards. That's the wolf that spawns in a random lane. We used to hate this thing, but it's actually pretty decent now.
I still hate it.
I think it's actually okay.
It's not about how good it is.
Oh,
it's just,
okay.
I don't think the design is very interesting, personally.
I think it's interesting because it's unique. That's what the definition of interesting is, unique.
Yeah. Sure. I agree it's unique. Okay?
Synderen, you're interesting.
Thank
Your
you.
face is interesting.
Yes.
Just want to let you know that.
It's a very unique face.
Yes. I agree.
But among itself, it doesn't have that many expressions.
Well, maybe in the next operating system update. So, 3K network lead for LGD. Ame, of course, with the Aegis now, plenty of time to work with. He's going for a Mjolnir as the next item of choice. Into Lincoln's, it looks like.
How many things are going to proc static charge here? Because when you upgrade into Mjolnir from Maelstrom, the damage increase, it's pretty good with the attack speed, right? But you already have Mask of Madness. So I think from a raw DPS standpoint, you already have the attack speed, so you might want to buy the damage instead, like Daedalus or
well, they want to get rid
MKB.
of Mask of Madness eventually as well, right?
Right. That's probably
it.
that's a good point. That's probably why. He's probably going to get this and then Satanic, right?
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
There's that wolf. So the reason this becomes pretty good is the Howl mechanic. The fact that it's global. It's been a while like that, obviously, but the minus armor on, and the fact that these wolves actually cripple towers. And did you know that?
Yeah.
That's, I believe, minus attack speed, if I'm not mistaken. And is there a bleed effect? I can't remember. It's like a, I thought it was like the old MAME kind of.
Only in Dota can towers bleed. That.
Yeah, damage per second, 8. See?
Yeah.
And it works on towers. Let's see this massive damage. Oh, they fortified. See, you got to respect the wolves. Yeah, absolutely fortified for that wolf.
This wolf ran away though, so it's controlled.
Okay.
That was not the shard.
Be quiet, Synderen.
Yes.
So,
why?
Your face is really interesting. All right, we have a smoke here from Quincy Crew. Trying to backstab now. Oh, nothing to say.
Epi fake. They just got the tower.
Yeah, for free.
Quincy didn't really find an angle hit. They're trying now to do a full wraparound, but
oh, I hear the Epi. He's waiting.
This can be really good or really bad.
Yeah, Burrow Strike's only onto one, but it is the Disruptor trying to take him out before he gets his ult off. Ame pops the BKB. Y is getting healed so much from Jin Q. How is he not dead? Buyback on the tree ant now. Static Storm there. Quinn in a ton of trouble. Looks like he's just going to get brought down by Ame's right click. So the Bloodstone is activated. Look at the health regen out of control. Aegis is finally expended, but it might be at the cost of Quinn's life if he's not careful. Attempting to run away, but the minus armor from the Howl and the right clicks will suffice. 2 for 1. Actually 3 for 1 with the buyback under the tree. And okay, so Quincy Crew, you said it could be really good or really bad. That was not good. They got 1 kill.
The outcome wasn't good,
Aegis.
but they didn't even play it that badly, I think. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
But I think Yawar arrived too late for this move. Look at the minimap right now.
Look at how much Y gets healed by Jin. This is insane.
Yeah, Ice Blast is finally
insane.
coming out later, but like now Terrorblade showed up, right?
Yeah.
It's just too late. If you're making this move, I don't think this works. Like, you imagine the same fight with Yawar there 5 seconds earlier. I think they win it.
Yeah, possibly.
And instead, this is a 4 for 1. It really is a game of seconds sometimes, and that was a... The way they entered that and the fact that they kept Quinn alive for so long should theoretically pay off bigger than 1 kill there, right? Really got maximum value out of Living Armor plus Crimson Guard.
Yeah, I think that fight, I mean, LGD were in the driver's seat to some degree, but this is taking it to another level. 7K network lead. They are looking very good, but there's the Burrow Strike. A Blast is missed onto Creeps instead. And Ame's just going to pop his BKB and try to turn this around now. Quinn Gonna get bashed up. Y on the back line as well. Jin-Q gets in with his ult. And this is looking really bad for Quincy Crew, but Leslie gets off his ult in turn. Epicenter forces them back completely, but Quinn's has been stuck inside this kinetic field seemingly the entire game. And they're afraid to go high ground now, but here comes Ember Spirit. That's going to be 1 kill. Make it 2 for nothing to say. Triple kill on top. Oh, man. That was rough for Quincy Crew. And LGD... God damn it. LGD...
What happened to the Ice Blast? I didn't even see it on the screen.
I saw it. It hit... He just misclicked.
Oh.
It hit neutral creeps.
Oh, no. That's the nerfs. That, honestly, I think that would have killed. Right? Maybe he has Essence Ring, right? He has Essence Ring, so he might have lived anyway, but...
Yeah, this is going to be, at the very least, 1 full set of racks. With the... He's had this Granite Golem the whole game. What are your thoughts on this?
Pretty much.
With an IO, it's actually pretty cool, right?
It's just more health. You're playing against a lineup that primarily does magical damage, except
Yeah.
this one Terrorblade.
Like, do you actually prioritize that versus the Dragon in this lineup because of that? Or
with how you're playing fights, I think so. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Although the Dragon would also be nice because it forces Terrorblade to deal with it, because none of the other heroes can.
Maybe only the Granite Golems have come up and we're looking too into this.
That's very possible. There are dragons now.
Oh my god, nothing to say. Look at that. Yeah, that was set up beautifully for him. So Lincoln Sphere, Cinderin.
Yep.
It blocks Burrow Strike.
Yep.
And I think that is literally it. Am I wrong? Sunder.
For the what? Sunder is
And
the big
Cold
one,
Feet.
though. Yeah.
But Lincoln's LOA gonna get brought down.
Hit the Ice Blast though.
Why Lincoln's? Is it just for Sunder? Is that the main thing?
I think so, yeah.
That's a,
Probably is.
not a very common choice in a game like this where there's not like a Doom or... I mean, Lincoln's is like a forgotten item, it feels like.
What even?
What am I missing here? I mean, it blocks Burrow though, right?
Yeah.
So that is a major one.
It's good, but I don't know if it's necessary. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Well, 13k net worth lead for LGD now. The tier 2 tower looking like it will fall. Oh, Smoke getting ready to go for Quincy Crew potentially. Yeah, I mean, from their perspective, what needs to be done? Like, what's the combo here? Overgrowth into AA Blast on several heroes, I would assume, is a minimum at this stage. And is there an item that Yawara is looking for? Like, I guess the BKB is the...
I think it's go time, but I think most importantly, you need all your heroes there at the right place at the right time, and you
Yeah.
need to hit a combo like you said. So Terrorblade needs to be able to attack during Overgrowth into Sanking Stone. Then you have the damage still to find key kills in this, but unfortunately for Quincy Crew, they kind of missed the window that was the really scary play for LGD about 5 minutes ago. Like, that is when that could have been super scary, when the Scotty was fresh. I don't think the BKB on Terrorblade is that integral to the success of their lineup. In all honesty, I don't even know if you should have bought it. What are you countering with this? Slight Chains and Aesthetic Storm?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe he values this under that high.
There's the Smoke, LOA. Oh, he just got 2-shot by a rock.
Yep.
There might have been a sleight of fist there as well, but we'll ignore that aspect and just give all the credit to the golem itself as Quinn takes a tumble, so this is just snowballing out of control in LGD's favor for sure.
Their top wave is coming in about 10 seconds if they cut the next one. That should break backdoor protection mid. That's exactly what they're going to do. He's going to hold the wave here. And mid is now open for business if they want to try to push there. Doesn't necessarily look like they're going to force high ground. No, they will. Why not?
Yep, you are forced to use his Manta. Ice Blast, they know, is available in the spawn area.
Yeah, they'll chill.
Can we get an update on where the wolf is?
There are
Okay.
two wolves
There we
bottom.
go. That's a good wolf.
There's 2 bottom.
Oh, wow. 2. Wait, how does that happen? Is that his actual wolves then?
No. I guess there was just a big wave, so it took them a
Oh.
long time to chew through it.
Wow.
Because you know why it took them a long time?
Oh, that was another update. They stopped the aggro on the lichen, or on the wolves as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Sorry, you had a joke, I'm sure. What was it?
No.
You're
Very
saving it for another time?
Very serious.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, this might be the last-ditch effort for Quincy Crew. Of course, this is only game 1 of this 2-game series for the group stage of TI-10. Quincy Crew need a miracle. They need a perfect initiation Roche is now up. You can see they wanted to go for Innocence or Y on the Disruptor, and he just couldn't be brought down. They just didn't have enough damage. Because, like you said, Yawar wasn't in range, and Io with the ridiculous amounts of heal. So we'll see. Ame has the Mjolnir and Lincoln Sphere and BKB, playing it super safe this time around. Quinn, Searing Chains is there. AA Blast is coming in. Ame just time walks to safety. LOA gets destroyed by Nothing to Say on the backside. Buybacks galore, but no ult for LOA in turn as Yawar gets off the Sunder finally. But it's going to be a big chrono onto the only hero that really matters, as Quinn is just going to be brought down eventually. But Yawar looking for the Sunder. He's already used it, actually. Triple kill for Faith Beyond, and that is likely to be GG for game number 1. And there it goes.
Absolutely crushed. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough one for Quincy Crew.
I think in theory, from a strategic point of view, the Quincy Crew lineup has tools to beat this Radiant lineup. I really think so.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this. You wouldn't chalk this up to like a draft loss, or the lanes also went fine.
Yeah. There was a couple deaths from Yawar that were
he died twice in a row.
Really not needed.
And maybe that threw them off the timing that they have like perceived for this strategy, where it's like, okay, we're gonna be ready around this time, and then they just aren't because his items have been delayed by, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes from those 2 deaths. But
yeah,
more than anything, like the cohesion is just better from LGD. Like the heroes are there at the right place, the right time. They're finding angles. They're making really strong moves.
I mean, if you're Quincy Crew, this is a game where you're like, all right, we can go look at the replay if we want to see what mistakes we made, but you got to forget about, like, there was a lot of uncharacteristic things that happened. Like the Ice Blast, just complete misclick, stuff like that just can't happen in a TI level game.
No.
Especially when you're facing the supposed best team in the entire world right now.
Yeah.
So. And
you're seeing why in this game, because this is not, again, I don't think this PSG LGD lineup is easy, like super easy to play or super straightforward to understand. And the way they're doing this here is just world class. Like, they make it look so easy, but believe me, this is not that easy as it looks. They're just exceptionally good, and they're showing up in top form, it looks like, at least based on this game. It was stellar performance basically the whole way around from everyone. So, scary team, and not disappointing on day 1 so far. Anyway.
Absolutely. So that's the end of game 1. Game 2 will be back at you in about 5 minutes, so stay tuned, friends.